In a small, simple room, Zhuo Fan sat quietly on a stone bed. On his forehead, a bright blue flame burned intensely. Inside his mind, a majestic dragon with the same blue flame rested. The dragon, glowing with power, looked even more impressive as the flame flickered. Suddenly, Zhuo Fan opened his eyes. His energy surged, filling the room. The dragon in his mind also awakened, roaring loudly as it turned into a fiery dragon, spreading its flames everywhere. For 15 minutes, Zhuo Fan released his energy, shouting as if he were declaring his power to the world. After calming down, he checked his progress. In just 3 months, he had reached the second level of his cultivation stage. Training with the azure flame is so much faster than normal methods, Zhuo Fan thought with satisfaction. Now, with the dragon soul and flame working together, his spiritual power was unmatched. An old voice called out from outside, "Steward Zhuo, may I come in?" Zhuo Fan raised an eyebrow and replied, "Please do, Venerable Bai." With a wave of his hand, Zhuo Fan removed the protective array around the room, and the old wooden door opened. Venerable Bai walked in, smiling warmly. "Congratulations, Steward Zhuo. Advancing in just 3 months. Truly remarkable. Geniuses across the land would be jealous of you." "You flatter me, Venerable Bai," Zhuo Fan replied humbly. "I just work harder than most. I keep telling the younger ones that success comes from dedication and hard work, but all they want are my pills. Such impatient kids." Hearing this, Venerable Bai couldn't help but twitch, thinking, what an actor, as if hard work alone could create someone like him. Zhuo Fan smiled knowingly and asked, "So why have you come to see me?" "The sect leader and the coaching elders want to meet you. They were waiting for you to finish your training," Venerable Bai explained. Zhuo Fan nodded. "Thank you for letting me know, Venerable Bai." Zhuo Fan left his room and went to the main hall, where sect leader Ziwu Yue and the elders were waiting. Ziwu Yu smirked as Zhuo Fan entered. "Finally decided to show up?" Zhuo Fan shrugged casually. "What can I say? Breaking through to the second layer takes time." The sect leader nodded. "You're lucky Venerable Bai informed me. Otherwise, you'd be punished for ignoring my summons." Zhuo Fan said nothing and took a random seat, much to the sect leader's annoyance. One elder, Fiend Yang, chuckled. "Zhuo Fan, you're moving so fast in cultivation. Rules don't apply to geniuses like you, right?" Xie Wu Yu glared at him, annoyed. "It's sect leader, not Wu Yue." Fiend Yang laughed it off, while Wu Yue decided to get straight to the point. "Zhuo Fan, the Double Dragon Gathering is coming soon, and there's something you need to know." Fiend Yang spoke up. "Zhuo Fan, do you know about sacred spirit stone mines?" Pretending not to know, Zhuo Fan asked, "What's that?" Fiend Yang explained. "These mines are rare places with concentrated spiritual energy, much stronger than regular spirit stones. The stones from these mines are essential for advanced cultivation and powerful arrays. There are only 5 such mines in the world." Zhuo Fan's eyes widened in surprise. "Even in the sacred domain, these stones are rare, and yet this mortal realm has 5 of them?" He kept his thoughts to himself and asked, "Are they really that valuable?" Fiend Yang laughed. "Valuable? Sacred stones are on a completely different level. Normal spiritual energy helps you cultivate, but sacred energy strengthens your body and abilities. That's why the strongest sects use them." Zhuo Fan nodded thoughtfully. Fiend Yang continued. "The world's 5 sacred mines are divided among 5 regions: East, West, South, North, and Central. Each region has its own alliance of sects to protect their mine. We belong to the Western lands, under the leadership of Double Dragon Manor," he added. "Double Dragon Manor holds the Double Dragon, gathering every 300 years to find the best young cultivators. These talents train at the manor for about a decade and then return to their sects, much stronger than before. The winning sects also receive great rewards." Hearing this, Zhuo Fan thought, this gathering isn't just about competition. It's about preparing for war and protecting the mines. He realized why the sects were so obsessed with growth. Sacred stones could transform a sect's environment into one resembling the sacred domain, creating countless talents. "No wonder everyone is so desperate for these stones," Zhuo Fan mused. "The power they offer is irresistible." Zhuo Fan asked curiously, "If the goal is to raise experts, why not divide the sacred mines among the sects? Wouldn't that make defending the Western lands easier?" The 4 venerables smiled bitterly. Fiend Yang sighed and explained, "It's not that simple. These mines are natural wonders, and mining them is incredibly difficult. We can only extract a small amount from the outer edges, and even that takes centuries. No one, not even the strongest cultivators, can break through the barrier protecting the core. Zhuofan's mind raced. So, someone placed that barrier to protect the mines. These mines aren't just random. They're owned, and whoever owns them isn't from the mortal world. He nodded, signaling his understanding. I see now why the Double Dragon gathering is so crucial. When do we leave? In a week, sect leader Ji Wuyue replied. You have 7 days to select a team of disciples to compete in the gathering. The better your team performs, the greater the rewards for our sect. I hope you'll help us rise to the middle 3 sects. Zhuofan agreed. Are we going alone? The 3 fiends of hell will escort you, Si Wuyu said. Only 3 venerables? Zhuofan raised an eyebrow. Aren't we supposed to be the future of the sect? Fiend Yang chuckled and reassured him. That's the rule. Each sect only sends a few venerables to avoid interference from too many experts. Even sect leaders can't go. This ensures the disciples can focus on fair competition. Chuhen nodded. Makes sense. Without the pressure of powerful elders hovering around, the fights will be more straightforward. Xie Wuyue dismissed the meeting, but as Zhuofan was leaving, he paused. Sect leader, we need to talk. Xie Wuyu raised an eyebrow. What is it? Zhuofan spoke calmly. Our agreement was for me to join the demon scheming, sect in exchange for the 9th grade pill. I've done my part, and after the Double Dragon gathering, I want to know if you'll keep your promise and let me leave. Xie Wuyu smirked. Why would you want to leave? You're a rising star here and could even surpass me someday. Zhuofan shook his head. Home is where the heart is. If I don't get a promise, it'll affect my performance at the gathering. Si Wuyu scoffed. Fine. After the gathering, you can leave if you make sure the team performs well. I can't have our reputation ruined. Reluctantly, Zhuofan agreed. Xie Wuyu threw him a jade token. This token carries my authority. Show it to anyone and they'll treat your words as mine. Use it wisely. Zhuofan grinned. Why didn't you give this to me earlier? It would have saved me so much trouble. Xie Wuyu sighed. Back then, you didn't have the strength or reputation to back it up. Now you do. If I'd given it to you earlier, the elders would have used it against me. Zhuofan laughed and left, already planning how to put the token to good use. As he walked away, Ji Wuyue watched him with cold eyes. Zhuofan, you've exceeded my expectations. Maybe it's better if you leave after the gathering. The next day, Zhuofan gathered the venerables and selected his team. He chose the strongest elites, Qi Changlong's group of 3, along with several disciples from the labor office, including Gui Hu, Tieying, Yueling, and Kui Lang. He also brought his own disciples, Yuer and Kui Gang. As the sect's barrier opened, Zhuofan stepped outside for the first time in years. The disciples were thrilled to leave the sect and explore the world. But the fiends looked uneasy. Fiend Yang spoke up. Zhuofan, you were given a week to choose your team. Isn't this a bit rushed? Zhuofan shrugged. I already know their strengths. Why wait? Fiend Yang frowned, pointing to Yuer and Kui Gang. Why bring these 2? They're fresh, radiant stage disciples who need treasures to fight properly. They're my disciples. I'm bringing them along to gain experience and see the world, Zhuofan replied calmly. The fiends were speechless. This guy is treating the gathering like a field trip. Fiend Yang, frustrated, turned to leave. I'm reporting this to the sect leader. Before he could go far, Zhuofan revealed the jade token. Feel free to report it. This token carries the sect leader's authority. If you defy me, you're defying him. The fiends froze, glaring at the token. Why did Ji Wuyue give him such power? Now we're stuck following his every whim.